Do they?
Oh, dude.
I didn't even look at the comments. Did people know what it was?
Yeah? Oh, I think one when I look.
Okay.
Still. It's
Yeah.
sad.
Sad that one person knew? You could take that any way you want.
No, that's good.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter.
Hi, Taro.
Dude.
Hey, from Vegas.
Oh.
Hey, his name is Dean. He can't
If you
be
can
bad.
find my wallet, please.
Yes. If you found it, well, please return it.
Just give me a call.
Vacation mode? No. Who's on vacation?
Cool. What is that thing?
I mean, I'm ready for vacation. What's up, Dean and Fernando from Kentucky? Hey, from Iowa. What's
Fried
going
chicken.
on, man? Oh, dude, that's bad. Morel's in the house.
Hey, I love Morel.
Mr. Berg. So what do we got here, Fernando? Hey, from Australia. How are you guys going? Nowhere
are
fast. We're not going anywhere.
Going. No, I say we're going.
Oh, we just got from Extreme Car. What's up, Fernando?
What's up, man?
Just straight Fernando. Hey, from Denver. Hi, from Puerto Rico. Nothing but love from Morel. Yo, 5-star Long Beach checking in.
Boom, boom.
Hola, amigos. You can only imagine who that is.
¿Qué pasa, Oscar? That's it.
It is Monday.
Yeah.
Lots of fun and excitement. What do we have here, Fernando? New York checking in.
Right now we have 2021 Toyota Camry.
Yes, the punch amps are very nice. They have a lot of advanced features that make life really good.
Yeah. But right now,
It's not
we
an
have a Toyota
F-150.
Camry.
Yeah, we definitely have a Toyota Camry.
Yeah.
Hey, Dean, that quote includes sound treatment, correct? Of course it does. Yes, it's sound treatment and fast rings, always.
Okay.
It's not really an option.
Yeah.
What are we doing to this?
Components in the front, coaxials in the rear, D4.800, and a monoblock. But come and look what kind of speakers.
Hold on, Oscar says I finally got my extension card for my DSP Ultra, so I can run my phone straight through the lightning cable. The lightning cable. Which is probably way cooler.
He's so cool.
I know he is. He's so sexy. Yeah, so we got it. We got a tweeter.
Yeah.
Mounted
big
up.
tweeter.
Big tweeter mounted up in the dash with some acrylic panels.
Yeah.
How was it the second time?
The second time.
Yeah, putting the tweeter in the second time.
Oh, I just testing it. Just testing it.
Just
that's
to
it.
make sure it
Like
fit.
test to see if it fits.
Yeah, he was a little bit on autopilot. He was on autopilot earlier.
I put everything back in and I'm like, okay.
Yeah.
I was just checking on you to see if
I was paying attention. Yeah, so what had happened is he just hooked the tweeter up via the factory wiring, and I was like, I had my wiring chilling out right here because it's a passive crossover.
Yep.
And so you have to run wires to the tweeters. And he just was on autopilot because in the Toyotas, to be fair, in the Toyotas, you have to put the bypass here so that, because how it works is the radio comes to this speaker and then it loops through the speaker and then out to this speaker. So you have to make sure that the factory clip stays in. For one, you don't want to cut the wires. Two, they're aluminum wires, so you're not soldering these things together, but you just clip it in, nice, simple, but then you have to run wires to these tweeters so that they can go off to the passive crossovers. So that's what happened. And now, of course, I'm sitting there looking at it and I'm going, my wire's just chilling. I go, and I see the tweeter back on and I said, hey man.
How was you
Did you run those wires?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Oh, I'm like, wow, man.
Yeah. So what's up from Hawaii? Oh, there's a big question. 2021 CX-5. That's a Mazda. 4 speakers. Has full EQ and time alignment already. All or driver's seat option. And the OEM head unit. How do I install an amp to this? Do I need a DSP or just amp it and add tweeter on dash? So the simple answer to that was yes, you can still use the factory DSP. However, remember, a DSP is more than just time alignment. It is also equalization. So if you're wanting to EQ the radio to your new speakers, then you're going to want to make sure you get a DSP. If the time alignment is already done, perfect. You don't have to play with that, but you're still going to want to do better crossover points, and more than likely your own EQ curve in the car. So I would still recommend going with the DSP. Plus it'll make integration easier, and if there's any weird stuff going on with the factory EQ, because they've EQ'd it to those speakers, not the speakers that you're planning on putting in, it'll be easy enough to get around that with the EQ DSP. Would you agree?
That's for sure, yeah.
We have Fernando concurring. All right, so let's take a look at this. This is up underneath the seat. We have the D4800 is mounted in place, and then we have our 2 passive crossovers all set and ready to go. And the question is, oh wait, why do passive crossovers? Well, because it's a 4-channel amp. It's not a 6-channel amp, and they're running the rear and the front off of the 4-channel amp. So that's what's happening here. So that's why we have those 2 passive crossovers. This DSP is going to be used more for the equalization aspect of it, not so much the time alignment.
Yes,
although
it's
we'll
the
be
Camry.
Doing it. His goal is more bass.
And it's the same color as Jeff's.
Isn't it? Yeah, it is the same color as Jeff's.
Just scroll up.
Yeah.
You can see it.
Why did he say it's the same color as mine?
No, it's
Yeah, it's a Camry. Yes, it's your car, Jeff.
Not yours, but yes.
Yes, it's yours. No, we came into the parking lot, we stole your car, and we're putting a Scar audio system in it.
You probably be happy. Look at that. It's a big subwoofer right here.
It is a big subwoofer right there. What wire do you guys use for the door speakers?
Wire?
We're using the factory.
Factory wire.
We'll be using the factory wiring. It's a Molex plug. We're not running it.
I'm not putting a 12-inch subwoofer.
Yeah, we're not putting 12-inch subwoofers to the door that handle 1,000 watts. So the wiring that's in here will be sufficient for what is going to happen. It is plenty big. It's actually, yeah, it's going to handle the voltage. We're not going to have a problem. Can you please wash it before you return it? By all means. By all means. We will be washing it, cleaning it up, making it nice.
We're going to put some bullet tweeters.
There's not much information on the basic system with 4 speakers. It's very loud, so maybe they have an amp already. It just sounds like crap. What harness do I need? Any idea how to install on it? I have plenty of ideas of how to install on it. I mean, that's kind of what we do. As far as T-harnesses go, you got to do your research, man. There's no easy way. Check out metroonline.com. Go into the top right-hand side of the page. At the very top, there's a search icon. Type in Mazda amp harness. See what pops up. You might get lucky. They might make a T-harness for their DSP. That'd be a good place to start. Anytime you get a car in, we have to go through the same thing that you guys have to go through. We don't have any special sauce. We can pay for Mitchell's or All Data. However, most of the time, it's just a matter of going through the car and figuring out what it is. I like trying to figure stuff out. I like knowing what I'm getting into. I like doing the work. With that being said, obviously it's sometimes it's difficult. It's just how it happens. But I'm not a part changer as much as I would like to be. Bobby, what's happening?
Hey.
Your opinion on sound quality of the Morel Virtus Carbon Nano 3-way set, and what's your opinion on using the Helix V12 amplifier? That would be a wonderful combination. You would not be disappointed with that. It's very nice stuff. Those Carbon Nanos are phenomenal, man. They're killing it. Hey guys, any recommendations for a 6.5 3-way component set with matched budget at $800? There's plenty of them. I mean, the set we just mentioned, or just the regular Virtus. You could get into the Focal Flax. You could get in, I think, the hybrids.
Hybrids is.
Oh no, you couldn't get into the Flax. The Flax would be more. Yeah. So I would probably look at Virtus, Access. You might be able to get into some GS, Audio Frogs.
The Maximus.
That's not a 3-way set. Oh, the Maximo. Maximo would be probably the most cost-effective. Morel Maximo 3-way set would probably be the most cost-effective out of the bunch. But we got 800, so we might be able to get into something a little better than that. But yeah. How can I use my DSR1 to go into another DSP with more channels? Just don't set up. Just leave the EQ. Just use it as a preamp. So make sure that you leave. If you don't do any of the setup on it, it doesn't come default to anything. So make sure your crossover is set off. Make sure your crossover is off. Make sure the EQ is off. Make sure the volume and time limit are off. If those are all set flat, it's just going to straight pass through. Go through the setup mode. If you want to use it as a 6-channel or an 8-channel, just decide which way you want to do it. When you set it up for, let's say, front rear sub, it is going to put in some preset crossover points. Just go in and turn those off. You can turn off anything, it doesn't matter, and then it'll just see it as a front output, a rear output, and a sub output. So yeah, you just, in that point, it just becomes a preamp. Then what you can do is, if the DSP you're using doesn't have a global EQ, if you go to the basic EQ portion of the DSR1, that's like a 7-band global EQ, which means it affects all channels. That's kind of a cool feature, because after you've tuned the car and you got it all set up and ready to go, you can then use that 7-band EQ to tailor it to, let's say, music you're listening to, and or if the EQ you're going to use doesn't have like group equalization, you can use it to boost or cut any way you want.
Toyota Corolla.
When don't you use the OEM speaker wire? When it's really old. This is a brand new car, man. This is a brand new 2021. There's no reason not to use the speaker wire. We're not putting 1200 watts through the wire. A good friend of mine that was an engineer always laughs when this topic comes up about how big of a wire you should be using. It's one of those things in car audio that, depending on who you talk to, they're going to tell you, dude, you got to run 12 gauge into the door. And it's like, why? What am I going to get from it? How much more sound is going to be passing over? I mean, it's one of those that'll be debated until the cows come home. But if you talk to an engineer that actually knows what it is they're doing, they're going to laugh at you. Okay, the speaker wire in this is fine. Most cars, it is fine.
It is fine.
Some cars suck. Some of the new cars are getting really, really thin. Those kind of suck. But
Toyota Corolla 2020. I'm trying to install an amplifier in this car, but they don't have speakers in the rear deck.
Correct.
To run my LC2i Pro. Any recommendations?
First off, in a brand new car, you do not use the rear speakers to connect a subwoofer. Don't do it. It's rule number 1. It's, believe it or not, the rear speaker doesn't have the most amount of bass in a newer vehicle. That would be this speaker here in the front next to where I'm sitting. That's your bass speaker. That is where your mid bass comes from. That's where your subwoofer would come from. These cars are more evolved. The rear deck is actually not it. It's just rear fill. It's crossed over. Usually has a high pass filter in it, way higher than the one in the front, because this nice front foot cabin area here has been repurposed to kind of think of it as a horn, to give you that deep sound. When you sit in a factory car, when you hear like, oh my gosh, there's a lot of bass coming from the front of the car. That's why. So they don't want to have a ton of bass coming from the rear, because that will affect the front bass presentation. So you're going to want to run it up here into the kick. You'll find the 2 speaker wires that you need located. And more than likely, they're going to be big, and they may be just like this one, but I can tell you just by looking at this harness, see these purple wires right here? These are the speaker wires. These are the colors that Toyota uses in their newer cars, is they use this pastel purple with a stripe, and those are the speaker wires right there. That's them. Yay, look at me, speaker wires. Oh my gosh, open the door.
Oscar coming out with another option for the 3-ways, GS10, GS25, and GS60.
I actually said Audio Frog GS. Yeah, I was there.
You just confirm it.
Thank you. I'm listening to Andy right now, so.
Oh, man.
You know, they were just talking about the GS line. People are crazy. You guys are asking a lot of questions, and obviously I can't get through them all. However, tonight at 6:30, as always, we'll be over there on Facebook. Monday night's Facebook. It is Monday night, so we'll be over there on Facebook taking more questions, of course, and answering as much as we can in the short time that we have. I'm looking at a new car battery as we speak. Was thinking the Stinger 1500 for 3,000 watts as my starting battery. Any other idea of good batteries? You know, when it comes to those batteries, there again, I'm not a battery expert by any stretch of the imagination. Some of those batteries are good for starting. Some of those batteries are not good for starting. when it comes to that type of information, I always recommend talking to them. So I would call Amp Global. You know, there's going to be a 1-800 number on their website, either from Amp Global or PAC or something like that.
1-800 call Jeff.
And then ask them what they recommend, which battery is good for, you know, underneath the hood starting a car. Because not all batteries are created the same, and some are designed to do different things. Some batteries are not designed with the thought that you're going to be starting a car with them. You know, there's different styles of batteries and different purposes, and they have different release rates, and there's a whole bunch of stuff that goes on there. I'm not an expert in batteries, so I don't know. You know, that's not my thing. I would love to know more, but it just hasn't come up. Dean, what channel and time on Turkey Day? It'll be on, good question, thank you, Bobby. That'll be on YouTube. The regular 5-star network is where that is at. This will be, I'll have to go back. I won't. I wish I had time, but I'd go back and figure out if it's the 5th or the 6th year we've done this. But every morning on Thanksgiving Day, every Thanksgiving Day morning at 10 o'clock, we head over to the beach, Fernando, myself, and Haley, and we do a morning broadcast at the beach with the camera facing the beautiful water behind us, so that, you know, we can kind of show you guys what it likes to live in Florida. Some of you guys snow is already on the ground, or snow has already been on the ground, or it's just freezing. And here, as you can see, we have t-shirts and shorts, and Fernando always wears pants, so that doesn't count. We do have hoodies, like I have a hoodie right there, but it's hot. It's like 72 or 73 right now.
Right now, yeah.
Yeah, so it's beautiful. This is like the best time of the year. Oh my God. If you ever want a vacation in Florida, between like November and April.
Come in December.
Don't come in December. Love of God, don't come in December. Everybody wants to come in December. The lights are cool, but no, man. Come in like January, February, March. Ooh, best time. Best time. Yes, I'm listening to Old School Podcast right now.
Yeah, that's right.
This week is Ken Ward, the legendary owner of Educar.
I haven't finished this guy that did apparently like clean wire and all that stuff. I haven't finished it. So.
I haven't even started that guy. I'm interested to see what he says too, because that guy, I think he forgot everything.
Know nothing.
Unfortunately, here in California, we have the worst governor of all times.
That's personal.
We have the guy that wants to be president next, bro. Okay? So, go with God. Whatever works. What's up? 75 and sunny, warm Orlando at the moment, of course. Florida has the greatest governor of all times. Perspective. A good 4-channel amp to power an Alpine S Series 6.5. Why not just go with an Alpine? Like, Alpine makes wonderful amplifiers, especially to power that. Just check out the Alpine, for sure. And they're reasonably priced. Let's go back here. All right, so you guys saw earlier, if you're tuning in late, I apologize, but up underneath this seat that Fernando's sitting on is a D4.800, some passive crossovers. And next up for me is the amp that's going to go up underneath the driver's seat. Now what I did is I made 2 brackets. So this is the panel that is going to go up underneath the driver's side. It actually sits like this, and you're like wondering why this is, because if this is going to get cut, I just don't know how much of it I'm going to cut off yet, depending on where this amplifier is going to sit in here. We'll heat these up and we'll bend them so that they fit up onto the back of the seat, and so that'll all go right in there. But the amplifier that he chose to power his subwoofer, I'm guessing he probably got a combo deal on it, is the RP 1200.1. So this is going to be his sub amp, and that is going to get fed off of the D4.800. And there's an RCA that's going to come from that over into this amplifier, which I think I already have. Yep, there it is right there, waiting to get attached. So what you're looking at is you have this high point here. So this goes up like this, so that'll get heated up, and this is the piece that is going to be in the way. So I don't know how much of this I have to remove in order to get the amp where I want it, and then we'll put it all back together, and that'll be this side done. We're gonna go with 2 40 gauge for power. Right now, the D4.800, which is already in and ready to go, this is the power wire for the D4.800. more than likely Fernando will probably build like 2 fuse holders in this area right over here. Dean, you guys always use the loudness in a Pioneer radio setting. Yes I do. I'm a big fan of loudness. I think it's wonderful. The reason why I like it, as opposed to why anyone would like it, is I don't necessarily always listen to my radio all the way up. I like to listen to it at low conversation level. And when I'm there, I still like impact and feeling in my music, and loudness will provide that for me. The nice thing too about it is as you turn it up, loudness goes away. So if you've ever noticed, like as the volume goes up, that impact that you're getting at that low volume, it's not there anymore. Well, that's because the subwoofers and the mids and highs have caught up now and your ears are just bleeding. So loudness is fun. I have no problems with it. Most cars have some form of loudness in it. That would be what we call bass roll-off. I know, right? All the pieces of the puzzle are starting to make sense. I had a stock hedge in it, so I went with a Pioneer floating, and they had to retune through a Helix Mini, but it's missing that punchiness it had. Any ideas what could be? Just the tune. I mean, it just depends what they did to the tune. You know, anytime you do something like that, you want to see what the tune looks like before. So, like, you know, I'm going to put in an RTA mic, and I'm going to look at all my channels and then see what they're doing before, take pictures, and then I'll put the new radio in, and I'll go and see it's looking like after, and see where I need to improve and where I don't. If you just throw the new radio in and then start tuning it again without knowing what the original EQ curve was, then yeah, it's going to sound totally different. That kind of sucks. But yeah, that's where that's at. No car lab for cars with amps under seats. Christian, no kidding. And because according to him, we don't have time for that. I'm guessing there was the first part to that I missed. I have no hate. It's whatever you decide. No politics, though. No politics. Politics are bad. Weather, good. Politics, bad. I'm not a political guy. I don't follow any of that. I don't. None of it, man. Actually, the only news I listen to is usually like sometimes in the morning when the talk show that I listen to on my way to work, which is comedy, is in a commercial. I'll go over and listen to the BBC just to find out what's happening in the other side of the world. Because and even that, it's just background noise. So all right, 96 Tacoma extended cab. I'm planning on putting a box in where the rear seats are. Is it worth it to put a rear speaker or front only? Looking for a good mid bass, maybe a 8-inch mid bass. Now keep in mind that the subwoofers are going to provide a ton of bass in that car. You don't necessarily need an 8-inch. A 6.5 might actually be better because you're going to have so much bottom end. The top end is where you're going to be missing. If you install them, cross them over, and add some time alignment to them, you'll get enough mid bass out of the car to be happy. But what you might be missing out is some of the upper vocals that you're going to have to compete with those woofers to do. So a 6.5 on a tweeter might be a better move just because you're going to want something to play those louder frequencies that the subwoofer can handle all the deep bass that you're going to need. I mean, you got to remember, if you have 2 subs or 4 subs or whatever it is back there and they're in a big box and they're putting out a ton of bass, even if you cross them over at 80 hertz, when you look at that on an RTA compared to the volume that is coming out of the front stage, there's going to be a ton of mid bass in that car. It's not like subwoofers don't put out sound, that is audible up front. They do. So, especially when you're sitting in the same cab. Just a thought. But if you're going to do an 8-inch, you're going to need some form of a mid-range, so you're going to need a 3-way set. Unless you just have a mid-range that plays up really high. So like if it's a loudspeaker style mid-range 8-inch, then you're okay.
Chicago's in the house.
D, my box is 2.6 cubic feet. Need a 2-port sealed. Need to port sealed 410s or ported 310s shallow. Thank you. Oh man, so I hate 3 subs. I'm not a 3 sub guy, but I do like ported. That's a tough one. I just hate 3 subs.
All right, dumb question. I put a JBL 4-channel amplifier and a Stinger High 10. The gain said with the DD1 and I got engine noise, and I put an SNI1, it fixes it. Any ideas? Is the Stinger like Pioneer? If you mess with the RCA radio on?
Honestly, I have no idea if it has that Pico fuse on it. We've never ran into that problem. You might need a better RCA.
Right.
That might just be it. You just might need a better RCA. Or just maybe a different ground location. Or a better RCA and a different ground location. It doesn't always have to be one problem. It could be multiples. Trust me, those are good days. It's like, hey, look, we have so many problems. Yay! I appreciate it. Thank you. I'm planning on doing a 3-way set up front, doors, and a 310s in the back. There you go. Just so you can get that volume you need. Stinger RCAs.
That's
Yeah, but you can still have a bad RCA. I mean...
Try another RCA? Like run it from the outside?
Yeah, just drape it in and see what it does. I mean, we sell hundreds and hundreds and hundreds, probably thousands of RCAs. Every now and then you get a bad one. All good. All right, guys, listen, we're going to wrap it up there. We have to get back to work, but definitely check in tonight, 6:30 Eastern Standard Time, over on Facebook, Car Stereo Talk, Dean and Fernando. But this has been 5 Minutes of 5-Star. You guys have a great rest of your day.
Bye, guys.
Bye. You having fun?
No.
Why not? Does anybody know what Fernando's working on? Hi guys, how's everybody doing? Hey, from Iowa, what's happening?
Hey.
Can anyone guess what Fernando's working on? What's going on? You know, it's Saturday, I hope. What's up, Dean and Fernando from Kentucky?
Kentucky?
Maybe a Jeep. You know, Ibrahim, either way.
Yes.
I mean, that's a good guess.
He's a pro, man.
I mean, got it in 1. Good morning. Good afternoon. Saludo.
Good night.
Hi from Maryland. What's up? What's up, DNF from Panama?
Panama City? Oh.
This is Panama.
Country.
Either way, I'm down. You know,
Yeah.
could be anything. Wrangler, of course. It's a Wrangler trash can for sure. Hi from Crown Point, New Mexico.
Ooh.
Maybe 2018.
So what is the
I
old
have
Mexico?
no idea what year it is, but yeah, it's a definitely Wrangler. It's a sport, so it's not an unlimited. Single cab, you know, weird one. I got it all Christmas lighted up. Hey from India.
Hey.
Hey from Ontario, Canada. Hey guys.
Hey.
What's happening, eh?
Hey.
Oh, easy, Fat Albert. Look at him. He's just moving right along. Look at those lights. So many on the Jeep. I know, right? He's definitely. We got a double light bar plus one on the hood, plus whatever. We got a reef. I mean, it's just there's so much action going on here. It's just so much. It's so intense. I don't even know how it turns on.
Christmas spirit.
He's talking about the 3 light bars on it.
Oh, I was thinking the Christmas spirit.
The Christmas lights are cute, but there is 3 light bars on it. That's for sure. Just installed some Morel Elates in my Lexus. First time here in Morel. Absolutely mind blown. That is a stunning review. That's something you know. There should be like a picture of the Elates and then that quote. That would be cool. That would be cool. Now, some of you might be saying, hey, like Fernando's working and I'm holding the phone. I just want you guys to know
I'm the only one working.
I already did my work. I put
really?
both tweeters and the mid bass in. He's still working on one. Just saying.
Oh man, yeah.
I mean, the laser did do the cool part, but I had to draw them.
Oh, you don't have them already?
I do, but I had to change the hull, and then I added some different logos to it because, I thought that would, just trying to impress it. Nice Jeep is in need of an alarm. Nah. All right, I saw something very sad. A 7706 with a cracked screen. Please, people, don't put your anger towards your radios. I've never understood that.
What?
Like, why anyone would punch the radio. What's up, Oscar? Hola, amigo.
Hey.
Lights for trail driving. I would assume that's what they're for. I agree. Or just really ticking people off. I'm about to test my titanium subwoofer. Nice. Let us know how it goes. What's up, fellows? Hope all is well. Like, I never understood why anyone would punch their radio display. Like, you could punch punch a tire. Like, just punch your tire.
Yeah, the tire's not gonna break.
Yeah, and it's not gonna kill your hand, and it's not gonna cost a bunch of money. Punching a brick wall. Stupid. Hurry up, Fernando. F-150 is probably next. Actually, this is like yes, that is a mongoose. Yes, it is, Jeff. Good catch. He saw the mon. Shh, don't tell anyone. It's a Christmas present.
Don't tell him. Don't tell.
It's a Christmas present. We just got it early because we know that shipping is gonna suck. So we got all the hard to find presents early. So yeah, this is the second Jeep for today, isn't it? Yeah, because we worked on one earlier today, and then worked on a Honda. Yeah, this week is just Phil.
It's Phil.
What kind of speakers are going in the Jeep and amp? This one. So this is kind of like, I guess we're the third people. Helmets and a number plate, and we can hit the track. All Sebastian right. Would probably like that.
Yeah.
So it might take you up on that, Jeff. Ow! Hit the light. So we're like the third person to get involved in this car, and the only thing we're doing today is adding these Kenwood Exelon XR 1701Ps. So these are what's going into this. Apparently,
0, right?
What? 0. Yeah, 0.
0 on the
I think he already has, according to Fernando, he has the set in the rear.
Yeah.
Of coaxials. Mm-hmm. He already has an amp, and he already has he already has it done wrong.
Yes.
All we needed to do was flick some dip switches so that everything played right. Hopefully at some point we'll get the opportunity to go and fix everything. But
that's the goal.
That is the goal. But at least today everything will leave playing the way it's supposed to. What would you recommend for a 2021 Camry? Looking for really good sound quality, looking to run an audio control amp. Thanks. Well, I mean, you already said that. Get a nice audio control amp. The 1300 is probably the most popular. You can get a 6-channel if you want to go full active. That'd be the 1200. Both of those amplifiers will integrate with the factory radio because they have high-level and low-level inputs, and all that good stuff is all built in. As far as speakers go, that's going to come down to what you like and what sound you're going after. It's hard to just we don't know each other that well yet. Where do you guys usually put the crossovers on the Jeeps? In a pod or somewhere else? That's going to depend. In this case, as you can see, Fernando doesn't have the cover on this yet, but it's going to go right down there. It mounts into place, nice and flat, which is great. When we can do that, we usually do. He's working on the tweeter wire right now because that is going to run down. And when I put them in place, I have my plug right here so that it can run down to his. Let me see. Hold on a second. Let me pop this guy right here. Ooh, we'll pop this off. There we go. Sorry. Pop that off. And so here is the tweeter pod up in place. It's got the Jeep logo. It's got the 5-star logo. Fits right in. Looks nice. And then the wire comes down and he can connect it to that. And then, of course, this just snaps back into place, just like factory. Yay. What you recommend for 2000 Accord EX? Some good speakers. Kind of like we just talked about. It just depends. I mean, what you're trying to do. If you're trying to find something high-end, but yet on a budget, check out the Morel Maximus. Maximus? US, right? Maximus 602 Mark II. Awesome speaker, reasonably priced. And sounds wonderful. Hello from Wisconsin. Do y'all have a lot of people stopping by today? Johnny, I honestly don't know. Fernando and I were over there today.
X-Men stopped by today.
Well, X-Man did stop by today, but Fernando and I were both over there today at the same time, not working on cars in the install bay, but helping customers that had... I had somebody drive in from Miami, and he had somebody that did not spoke his language more so than mine. And so we both were over there for about an hour. That kind of slowed down the day a bit. But I have no idea what goes on over in the install bay, because it's 6 walls between this wall and that. So thank God we don't have to hang out there. Tweeter's looking sexy. Thank you. Do you know any good installers near Nashville? Yes, actually. Titan Motorsports is an exceptional place to go. My buddy Donnie works there. You can go check them out. But they do everything. Miguel is an installer there. Nice guy. Right?
Yeah.
Okay. Good afternoon. Good afternoon. Wow, you don't even chop the little location pin for the tweeter. No, man, it's all part of the mount. Yep, lasers are special, Johnny. You guys got to get one. They do it all, man. They make it look so nice and so sexy. We do keep the analogs, as I like to call them now, because I feel like the laser's digital, but we do keep all the analogs just in case that the laser decides to break or not work or the internet's screwed up. So we do keep a lot of the analog mounts just in case we need them, but for the most part we don't use them anymore. Recommend Morel speakers. Always recommend Morel speakers. I installed some Kicker KS 6x9s with the 2 3/4 and a KS 6.5. Sounds so good for what you pay. I'm going to give you an okay on that one and just move on.
Sounds so good.
Did you hear what I said he installed?
Yeah.
6x9s with the 2 3/4. Titan Motors. Yes, Titan Motors. They're awesome. Got a beautiful store. Bunch of great guys too. Who's the Morel rep for Upper Minnesota? Honestly, I don't know, but if
Mike.
It's Mike. It's Mike.
Mike. No.
Honestly, I don't know, but if you give them a call, the Morel Hi-Fi, go to morelhifi.com.
MorelUSA.com.
I thought it was Morel Hi-Fi. You sure?
MorelUSA.com.
All right, let's find out. I don't want to give you the wrong information. Either way, you're going to talk to Casey or Natasha, and they're going to fill you in on who's it supposed to be. Hold on. Let's get this computer to work. All right, dismiss. These are the brackets that we were doing earlier today. MorelHiFi.com takes you to Morel Hi-Fi. Dealer locator. I'm thinking it's MorelHiFi.com, Fernando. Yeah. Unless this is... Oh, this might be... Yeah, that doesn't look like USA. All right, let's try this. Oh, no, that's New Jersey. Hold on. Let's go down here. Well, that's South Africa. That's not going to help us. All right, hold on. Let's try this. Oh, that takes you to the same place. So it's MorelHiFi.com. Contact us. That would be where you want to go.
That's where you want to go?
Or just reach out to them here on Instagram. Morel USA is what it is here on Instagram. And just that site is run by Natasha, and she'll be able to get you what you need. So just leave them a message. Probably the easiest thing to do. Have you guys used Moscone acid? If so, what I honestly know, we have not done anything with Moscone. Kind of bummed about that because I really want to do some Moscone Pros, but just haven't had the opportunity to do those yet. Have you had your hands on the Odyssey Bit 10D? Your thoughts on it if you have. Years ago, yes. You could probably pick them up extremely cheap right now. For sure, because they've been gone for a really long time. But I think I'd go for something newer if it was me. I mean, it'll do the job, but there's so much nicer, newer stuff. Oh, that's terrible, Mr. Andrew. Wow, that is terrible. Tacoma with JBL Amp Pro not compatible. What can I do to why is a Tacoma with a JBL Amp Pro not compatible? What year is it? I mean, if it's
2025.
I don't know. That's kind of weird. Yeah, that is kind of strange. I mean, if it's with JBL, it should be compatible. Even the new one, the 3 works.
It should be compatible.
Or it should be compatible. I don't know why it wouldn't be. Unless it's an older one. But even still, I think they make them for the older ones. I was going to say, what's with the stink eye? Getting tired? Sleepy?
Dude, I'm tired.
Yeah?
Super tired.
Partying like a rock star last night, man.
Without the money.
Well, yeah, we always do that, though. I mean, that goes without saying.
Yeah, party like a rock star.
Party like a rock star.
No money at all.
We have a big-ass dually today, which means we're working outside all day, which is probably making us extra tired just because it's beating down and walking an extra. You got to walk from here to there, and then back, and then back again, and then... You know, yeah. What did let's take a look at the hood. So you got the fuse holder in. You just finished that. Let's see what we got. Let's see what we got rocking and rolling.
Welcome to my hood.
Oh my gosh. Hey, it's 59 in Eastern North Carolina.
Ooh, I'm so sorry for you, man. It's 70 over here.
70 something plus. 70 plus. All right, so this is a dually. It's a diesel, so we got 2 batteries.
We have 2 batteries, but we came out from that.
This one's a manual too, which is totally weird.
But it's good.
Yeah.
So
I see it. Yeah.
I mounted over here, so just in case they have to remove the battery or replace it, they just take it out, remove. Yeah. They don't have to do nothing crazy. Simple fuse holder. I like simple.
This is so weird actually seeing something in that hole there. Mm-hmm. I don't know if I've ever worked on a manual, especially like a big ass truck like this.
Manuel.
This also had the Infinity system, which just totally sucks. So if you see this logo on the door, charge an extra hour and a half. The amplifier is located right in that area right there. I like to take this whole piece off. I just got done putting it all back on. It just makes it easier to get into it. So I removed the whole lower part of the dash, and we're putting double din in there, so we've already got this one cut. But yeah, there's this. I still got to put the floor in because you got to pull that out to get it in. But for speakers, we're doing the KS 6x9 components. Kicker. So we got the mid bass already in the door, and we have the little KS speakers up here in the dash. So it's a little 2.5 with the 2-piece bracket. I've said in the past, I'm not necessarily a fan of this 2-piece bracket. What I like to do is we have Tessa double-sided tape that I like to put here and here, and that will sandwich them together so that I can then get it in and the screw will hold it in place. But the way they didn't make it twist or lock or anything like that, which is kind of weird considering how thorough kicker usually is. I think they kind of dropped the ball in this mount, but it's a beautiful speaker, and so we'll come up with solutions so that we can still use it. That one is in, all the wires up into the dash already. Fernando was getting ready to put the top cover back on.
Yeah?
So yeah, you can. In the back area here, he wanted just a single. So we have a Comp RT10 single. I guess, I don't know, didn't sell them on this. So we have the box already in place. Let's walk around to the other side. We also did a backup camera. Fernando had fun with that because if you'll notice, like, it's really, really low with that skirt. So he crawled all the way underneath, from underneath the car, and then I met him here and took care of drilling the hole and all that, and then he had to crawl all the way back out.
I use the car because I can fit.
So we went in an 802.5. We made this mount right here, and we backfired all the wiring so that we could have our controls here on the front. And so all the wiring goes off to the back, zip ties into place and comes out, and then it just, you know, disappears into here. So he still has his full cubby. He can still do all this, and then this, of course, will fold up and not hit the amplifier. It's key, but we can still adjust all the amplifier and have easy controls, and just looks really nice, simple, clean little 5-channel install. We put some 5 1/4s back here. We had to make custom brackets for.
Yes.
Yeah, look at that, dude. It bit me.
Say hello to my friend.
It bit me a bunch. Don't even play with that, man. That is, dude, that's like playing with eggs. We don't need any Humpty Dumpty on that. To get those rear speakers in, it is a 5 1/4, but it's a 3-hole 5 1/4, so nobody really makes this. A lot of the times you can get these 2 brackets and, you know, drill 2 more for this. I personally don't like to do that, so I took it over to the router a while ago. This isn't from today. We've had this. We didn't bother to laser this because we made this a long time ago, and we don't do a ton of these. So this just easy enough. You just take your speaker, set it on top of the plastic, get it on the router to get that shape, and then you'll have it forever. And you can make as many of them as you want just by using some of the Mobile Solutions template tape to stick on there. This is that Tessa tape I was talking about earlier. We do have this on D&F Tool Drawer. You can find this stuff. This stuff is super nice. We use a lot of this, especially when we're building our amp racks, because this stuff will stick forever. This is for scrapbooking. I don't know if you guys have ever done any scrapbooking, or a wife or an aunt or grandmother or mom or something like that does scrapbooking, but this is scrapbooking tape made by Tessa, but it is super sticky. So we'll use this if we need a permanent type of tape. I mean, it needs to stay forever and ever and ever. So like, especially like when we're building amp racks, you know, we need to take this and stick it onto here or something like that, or we're putting those risers on. We'll use this tape to hold it in place because it sticks to plastic really well and doesn't peel off. You have to really kind of get in there. One cool thing about those kicker speakers, the KS 6x9s, they do come with an 1/8" spacer in the box, and then they come with this guy, which, hold on, I'm gonna do the tape here. So this is one of those universal 6x9 adapters. So in this configuration, it fits in Chevy. These outside screws, that's for Toyota. But yeah, it's pretty tall. So that's because, you know, most of these plastic applications, that's nice. You have your little area here to run the wire on either end. But it does come with a bracket to make installation, and it comes with 2 more brackets for the 2.5. So, and somewhere on the instructions it tells you which one to use. You know you're a legit installer when your hands are cut up. In that case, I'm like super legit because I've already removed part of my finger. So, you know.
I was thinking.
I was saying, that was just a bad day. It was like a bad month. I don't like cutting myself. I prefer not to anymore. I don't heal as fast as I used to.
Okay, Logan.
Yeah, well, he died in that movie. I still haven't gone back to watch that. I really didn't dig it. No. Oh well. So that's what we got going on in this big old truck today. Hopefully trying to get this finished up here in the next hour so we can take a listen to it, set the gains, tune up the radio. I didn't talk about the radio. I almost forgot. Jeez. So this is getting the Alpine ILX W650 right here. This is using the pack kit. When I'm doing short chassis, I like to cut the brackets instead of having them stick out, just because to me it just looks, no one will ever see it. I know that it just looks cheesy to have these sticking out another 1.5 inches, so I cut them. Even if we decide, like if we were going, oh well, what happens if you add the amplifier? The amplifier attaches to this, not to these brackets, so we don't have to worry about it. And then the dash itself, here is the dash panel. For this, you do have to drill off the factory piece, and then they give you these cool screws to reattach, and of course the pocket and the air conditioning will screw back into place. And it doesn't have the honeycomb texture that the factory has, but it's a nice smooth, it just feels like I don't know, it's a nice plastic finish. It feels really good. The radio, so one thing you want to note if you ever do one of these, see how this Alpine has this big 1/4 inch old school extension. That's kind of nice. This has a deep lip, so I mean you can get away with using it, but keep in mind if you go with those new radios where there's only like a 1/16 of an inch, your radio is going to be inset. With the ILX, it actually butts up in there and looks nice and flush and nice, so I was like, ooh, yeah, yummy. And then it needs to be recessed, so when you're screwing the brackets on, it all the way forward. So put the brackets all the way forward, that'll line the radio up with this kit perfect, and it's all nice. Another thing too, when you're screwing this in, Pack in their infinite wisdom did not decide to put a left and a right on here. If you notice, there's a short at the top and a long here, and these need to go in a specific way. So keep that in mind when you're putting it on. Otherwise you could put it upside down, which I've done many times. Kind of sucks. So factory speakers here. I think that's it. Helix DSP question. It has 12 volt remote in out, only getting 2 volt out. Is this a software issue or is the unit bad? I'm not going to have an answer for that. I don't know if it's a software issue, meaning something that you didn't tick in the software.
What's the problem?
They have the Helix processor that has the remote in, remote out. He's only getting a 2 volt remote out. It sounds like to me, if I was to guess, it sounds like something's not set right.
Right. You have to go and set it up.
I'm thinking in the factory you said software problem. Yes, it's probably something in the settings that's not set properly. And yeah, that's a confusing one. I'm sure if you called the MSC guys, Jason could probably figure it out for you in about 2 seconds and go, it's this. Which you probably can't get a hold of today, which kind of sucks, but it's definitely something in the settings. Is the DSP turning on? I guess would be the first question. That's weird though. That doesn't make... Why would it... I don't remember ever going in and having to set up the output.
I remember doing the delay, but now...
Yeah, the delay, but I mean, we've done delay. But I don't remember it ever not having an output. That's kind of weird.
I would definitely go.
I would jump it today so that it just works and move on, and then give him a call on Monday. What's the boss's name next door? Sales department. Paul. Cool idea to upgrade the farm truck. This is definitely a cool idea. Any idea why fader left and right won't work when using the DMA-10? Because you didn't grab fader left and right, or you don't have it set up properly, or you don't have the inputs properly. It has nothing to do with the DMA-10. It has to do with whatever you have feeding it.
Yep.
Fader left and right is 100% on the input side, so there's nothing that won't allow it unless you've selected mono in the on the output page. Halfway down on the left there's a mono choice, but other than that, whatever you're feeding it is what it's going to do. So it only does whatever you tell it to do. So if you put a left in on the left and you put a right in on the right, when you go between the two, if it doesn't do that, that's not its fault unless you selected mono. That's something that you did accidentally. What? You okay?
Yeah.
Maybe have the wires backwards on the helix, or factory head unit needs a relay. No, because I mean, the idea is that the relay inside of the helix is what's going on. So depending on what's triggering it is what is triggering the output. See, to me, that would be the only thing. Like if you're triggering it with a remote in, because I think default is probably DC offset. So let's say you put RCAs into it and you have it set for DC offset, it's not going to trigger the remote turn on out because it's not seeing the DC offset come over the high level side. Or if you accidentally set it for high level input and it's looking for, a remote turn on. So to me, it's either something wrong with how it's set up to trigger out, which would be how it's set up to trigger on, is the problem. To me, that's the simple solution, is that there's something not telling the output to turn on.
Yeah.
I have a Helix Ultra 2. It powered up and remote in and out works fine. Yeah. I mean, we know it's going to work fine. That's what I'm saying. It sounds like there's something that a box that just didn't get ticked right, or a box that accidentally got ticked because it seems like it was something else. But yes, it should just work. But there again, if you have a remote in and it's looking for DC offset, it might do something weird like that. Without digging deep into the software, those are where my troubleshooting skills and time would be spent. Okay, is this what's happening? And if it is, where do I tick that box to make it not do that? Right. Do you always cut the factory harness and extend the wires to solder on speakers? Okay, do you always cut factory harness to extend the wire to solder on speakers? Not always, but majority of the time. If you're talking about like speaker wires up here or speaker wires in the door, most of the time, yes. Some of the time, no, because it's really hard to do. Like, for example, like in this car, we would have loved to have a clip for this just because it's hard to get up in there to do that. But in other cases, it's not. So it just varies. But we try to not cut the harness when we don't have to. Right. We're definitely not going to cut a harness like behind a radio and add an amplifier or anything like that. Especially if they make one, or they make one that's close, we'll just make it work. That's kind of the joy there, is always just try to make something that exists work. This car, we're lucky, Metra does make a harness for this car. So once you go through the heartache of getting out the factory amplifier, which you honestly probably don't need to do, but you definitely want to get the wiring harness to plug into it. I've seen guys where they've cut this and it's like I've had to go back in and solder it, and it's not fun. It's not fun.
Not fun at all.
Calling MSC on Monday. There you go. Have you guys done the auto-tuning stuff using the Virtuoso? No, we had a Virtuoso in the other day that we did in the RAM, what we saw. And he wanted to tune it himself. He was a rep for the product, and he's like, no, I'll do it myself. And I'm like, cool. And actually, we've been talking a couple times since then. He's like, I almost got this perfect. Because remember, a lot of that stuff just gets you close, and that's its goal, is to just get you close.
And then you start playing with it.
And then you start playing with it. If you know what you're doing,
exactly,
then it's more of a time problem. The nice thing about the tool is that it'll help you understand the basics if you pay attention and see what it's doing and see what things are changing, and then you can go, oh, well, I can just do that from the get-go. sometimes it's telling you stuff that you can't see or don't understand, in which case it's like, oh no, I always want to use this. Rockford Punch P600 or Rockford Prime R2 amp for my Alpine R-Tech speakers. I mean, I like the Punch. If I have the choice between the two, I'm gonna get the Punch. That's, it's a better amp. Buy the best that you can. Always buy the best that you can. Kind of bothers me as the flagship that it's 13 bands per side rather than per speaker. Are we talking about the Virtuoso? That's the only one? Yeah. Yeah. That one kind of threw me too. I'm like, wait a minute, what? Huh, because we ran out of bands.
Apple TV.
It's starting to rain.
Yeah.
Oh, better turn it on and roll up the windows. Really? Unbelievable. Yeah, I know. It only rained for 5 minutes. I mean, we're almost done, so that's kind of cool. Apple TV on a Kenwood 10.1. We haven't tried it yet. Let's just say that. Haven't tried it yet. We could. I mean, we have an Apple TV right there, and we have a 10.1. It's just more or less finding the time to do it. I mean, I would Google it, see if somebody's done it. I'm sure whoever's done it is really proud of themselves and probably filmed a video. Yes, the Virtuoso. Yeah, that was kind of my thought too. I mean, it has a lot of things. Like it has all pass filters. It has a ton of stuff to play with. So I mean, we were able to get what we wanted. But yeah, as a flagship, I was kind of like 13 bands, huh? I mean, I could see that on the Prima because I think the Prima is like 10. But yeah, we ran out of bands and we had to go into one of the other, because there's like 3 EQs. So we had to go into one of the other ones because he wanted me to imitate like a Punch EQ. Punch EQ is 45 hertz with a wide Q. And he was like, he wanted me to create that. And I'd already used all the bands on those channels to do what I needed to do. And I was like, we don't have any more bands left. Hold on, let me see what I can come up with. Do you know the harness for the 370Z at the Bose amp so I can add amp wire, remote, etc. there instead of going all the way to the front? Here's what I do. I take it apart, I go to the amplifier, I take a picture of it, I walk over to my laptop, and I go to metroonline.com, and on the right-hand side is a search tab, and I type in Nissan harness, and then it pulls up every single Nissan harness they make, and I just kind of go through the pictures until I find the one that matches, if I don't already know what it looks like. But no, I don't know these things off the top of my head. Sorry. Hey, Dean and Fernando. Hey. Prima at least is Prima at least in pro mode, it's still per driver. Yeah, that's true. I guess, yeah, I've only ever used it that way. Huh, good call. I like the Prima stuff, man. I dig in the Prima. I like the Bit Nove, which is basically the same DSP as the Prima, just in a standalone. I like it because it's got 9 channels. It's kind of nice, so you can do like a 3-way front, rear, and sub. I feel like, I mean, a 10 would do that, but, you gotta pinch that penny. I have a pair of Rockford Punch Pro tweeters fed by a D61200 and getting a hiss noise, but my gain is set at flat. So it sounds like floor noise. It depends what you're feeding the amplifier with is where the noise could be coming from. Most of the time when you have tweeters like that, they're so efficient. They're between 103 to 170 dBs of efficient. So that means you're going to usually get some form of noise just because they're so efficient. They pick up everything. And floor noise is one of those things that you get because they're just so efficient. If it's coming off of an aftermarket radio, could be the source unit. You can always unplug it and see if it goes away. If it stays, then it's just the floor noise in the amplifier, and that efficient tweeter is hating it. Or the amplifier is hating the efficient tweeter. Love the product, just was like WTF on the Virtuoso seemingly having less. I know. I'm with you on that. 04 Wrangler with CD player, crap, non-amplifier. What do you need to change the radio? 2014 Wrangler with CD player. There again, it's 2014. Off the top of my head, I'd probably head over. If it's a Jeep, I'm going to metraonline.com to get the parts for at least the dash kit. I'm going to use their dash kit. If it uses a smart harness, which it will, I'm going to use an iData RR because I like their interface for the Jeeps better. Makes things rather nice, so I would head over to iDatalink.com, I think is what it is, or just type in iData RR and their website should pop up. But I'm getting their interface in a Metra dash kit. Boom. All right, guys, listen, I got to finish this thing so we can get it off to the guy. He probably, wants it back by the end of the day, and it's already 3 o'clock. So we need to move it along. Thanks so much for playing along with us today. If you got a chance or didn't get a chance, make sure you head over and listen to the news that we did this morning so you can be up to date on all things exciting in the world of 12 volt. Fernando?
On to the next one, guys.
We'll see you later next time.
Bye.
Bye. Oh, this has been 5 minutes of 5-star.